Hello, everybody. Welcome to Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. My name is John. We're in the world famous Sipping Den. And if you didn't know, on this channel, I do everything that has anything to do with alcohol and coffee. Fantastic. Got a heck of a playlist, too. And the bourbon playlist is going to be attached to the first comment in this video, so you can check out all the bourbons I review. What are we reviewing today? Let's talk about it. Evan Williams, 12-year, 101 proof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now, all right, this one here, better known as the 12-year or the red label, is only available at the distillery in downtown Louisville, Kentucky, all right, at the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience. You have to take the tour, and then you have to buy this on the day of the tour. They don't have it on the shelves. You have to ask for it. You have to either say the red label or the 12-year. It is $149.99. Only two places in the world you can get it is the Evan Williams Experience downtown and Japan, of all places. And the reason that it goes to Japan, and for a long time, Japan was the only place that had it. And then that distillery, that Experience downtown, pushed for it so they can offer it to people that take the tour, and no one else can get it anywhere else. But Japan had it because in the 80s, when bourbon wasn't selling very well, the Japanese continued to enjoy bourbon and love bourbon. They were buying good bourbons, even though the Americans were kind of switching to some of the white liquors, the gins and the vodkas and such. And as a reward, Heaven Hill, which owns Evan Williams, sent this to Japan. And just recently was able to get it at that distillery, and that's why it's in Japan. Although I don't know why Japan still wants it and everything. Not because it's not good. It is. It's very good. But because they own their own stuff now. They own Jim Beam, they own Maker's Mark, they own some others. Sure, they have old stocks of Jim Beam and stuff, but they still like this, and this is still where it gets sent. It's only two places in the world where this is at. When a bourbon says 12 years, that means that is the youngest whiskey in there, okay? So to get this profile, the 12 years might not taste the way they want to get this profile. So they got to add in other barrels too, other ages. But they can't add in anything younger because if they put one drop of, say, 4-year in here, they have to label this 4-year, even if it's one drop. So it has 12, and it has older stuff as well. The majority's 12. It has 12. 12 has to go on the label if you're going to put an age on the label at this point. But you can be assured they have much older whiskey in here as well to keep their flavor profile going. I know that once Heaven Hill places barrels in the rick houses, they do not move them. They do not rotate them. So they stay there. The top floor, the 7th floor, could be as much as 50 degrees warmer than the bottom floor during the summer. These bottles, or these barrels that do the 12-year, are all on the top floor on the 7th floor. So it gives a certain profile, right? It's going to give it a certain flavor profile. So for 12 years, it's sitting way up there. It's evaporating like crazy. Of course, they put it down to 101 because the barrels probably didn't contain much. But the majority of that flavor that was in there is going to stay in there. What else I want to tell you about this? Let's get into it. If I think of it, I'll talk about it. Oh, I can tell you the mash bill. 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. So, all right. Once again. And Evan Williams, this distillery downtown, was actually the first distillery back on Whiskey Row since Prohibition. And the cool thing of it is the land that distillery's on was actually the actual piece of land that Evan Williams actually owned and had his distillery and his house on. So it's quite unique. It's kind of a dark amber color. There is a red hue to it. Now, Heaven Hill stuff, especially like the Elijah Craig, especially the toasted, always throws to me a lot of caramel, right? Their mash bill, whatever, their yeast, everything they do seems to have a lot of caramel. And the nose, this is no exception to that. Considering it is 12 years and older, it doesn't have a lot of oaky smell to it. It's more of a smoother. Smooth isn't a smell necessarily, but there's nothing coming out and punchy. I'm getting caramel, I'm getting oak, but not as strong. Not something you would think would be a real strong oak after 12 years. It's got the dark fruits where it's oxidized. And of course, there's a brown sugar element to it. Cheers, everybody. Let's see what the taste is like. All right, just acclimating myself, right? Just getting rid of whatever taste was in my mouth. Had some coffee earlier. We got to get rid of that. Start with a fresh palate. Let me do one more acclimation sip, and then I'll really dig into it. All right, here we go. All right, definitely has the caramel. Right, it's a Heaven Hill specialty to me. It has the wood taste, but for 12 years, it's not over. Because remember, we're using a brand new oak charred barrel, so you don't have to age it long. 12 years, it's got that oak taste, but does not have the overwhelming taste of wood. Caramel's there. It's got the vanilla from the wood. It's got the sugars from the wood. Probably charred to number 3 char level, 35 seconds under flame. Ooh, it's got a spiciness to it, though. A little kick of the spice coming out of there. Pepper / cinnamon. But this isn't overwhelming. This is well blended. You know, for being 12 years old, nothing's coming out. I'm a little surprised that the wood's as mild as it is. And you know what? I'm not getting a lot of those oak tannins on the back. I'm getting them, but not real bitter thing. I would almost make it more of a nut, like a pecan type thing. So 101 proof. Not hot. Not a lot of bitterness. Little pecan taste. Definitely the caramel, spice, little pepper, little cinnamon, vanilla. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It is good. I'm glad I got it. Extra age, no, there it is. So if you get a chance to get your hands on it, you got $150. I know it's expensive, but I think it was worth it. Excuse me. So from Distilled Brew and Review, thank you for being here. Check out the playlist, and I'll be back with some more great reviews. Check out all my playlists. You're going to be fascinated.